Upsets in boxing have been a thing since the start of the sport. The great Muhammad Ali had shocked the world when he beat Sonny Liston in 1964. Liston had demolished Floyd Patterson twice in a single round, so it was obvious that the 22-year-old Ali was an underdog. Upsets in boxing happen when an all-time great suddenly loses. We have Ali and Tyson, both losing to men that were massive underdogs. But Ali's losing story isn't as extraordinary and sad as Tyson's. Buster Douglas was the man to dethrone the king. Stay with us, and we will analytically go through the day that Mike Tyson had fallen. This is Boxing Matrix. Enjoy this video. Mike Tyson, a ruthless born child. He was only 2 when his father abandoned him and his family, so it was obvious that he wasn't meant for an easy life. His early years were spent in a high-crime neighborhood where bone-crushing fights were a common occurrence. Since death was always around the corner and self-defense as necessary as bread and butter, Mike was inducted into the art of fighting at a very early age.
My first fight, this guy took one of my pigeons, and so I said, please, give my bird back. He's an older guy. I must have been 9. He must have been 15 or 12, 15, 30. He was a teenager. And I said, give my bird back. He said, fuck you, fat. He took my birds, he clipped my bird's head off, and he hit me with the bird. And some other guy that used to abuse me and bully me, he said, yo, man, fight him back. He just said, man, fuck, he just got to, everybody just said, this shit, man, you got to do something. And I fought back. I never fought nobody before. I fought back, and you know what? I can fight real good.
He was enrolled at the Tyrone School for Boys in Johnston, New York, where he was discovered by the former boxer Bobby Stewart. Stewart trained him for a few months before introducing him to Cus D'Amato, the man who would launch Tyson into boxing greatness. He was 2 times junior Olympic champion, but his real professional break came on March 6, 1985, where he knocked out Hector Mercedes in the first round. After that fight, he had a number of continuous successes that would lead to both an improvement in the standards of his opponents, as well as a corresponding increase in the media's interest into the rising boxing star. Although Cus D'Amato's death in 1985 hit Tyson hard, his boxing success kept increasing due to his increased speed and accuracy. Kevin Rooney took over for D'Amato, and less than 2 weeks later, Tyson continued his climb up the heavyweight rankings. By 1986, Tyson had garnered a 22-0 record, 21 of the fights won by knockout. In November of that same year, Tyson finally reached his goal. He was given his first title fight against Trevor Berbick, in which he won the title by a knockout in the second round. At the age of 20 years and 4 months, he surpassed Floyd Patterson's record to become the youngest heavyweight champion in history.
Not about it. I was going to kill him. You know, I saw the way he was hitting Ali really hard with everything he had. Ali didn't have nothing left. He could have been, he was trying to kill him. So I said, oh, I can't wait till I get him.
This was the start of a journey with many ups and downs. Win after win, Tyson was destroying everyone that came in his way. No matter how big or how strong he would eventually. That was the mindset implemented in him by Cus. Tyson's success was ongoing. He defended his title against James Smith in 1987, adding the WBA championship to his list of victories. In August of that same year, he became the first heavyweight to own all 3 major boxing belts when he seized the IBF title from Tony Tucker. Was there really anything more Tyson had to prove? Yes, he had to make his boxing idol proud. In 1981, Muhammad Ali lost to Larry Holmes in a really bad way. Holmes was punishing Ali, while he didn't have anything more left as he was dealing with early-stage Parkinson's syndrome. The day after his loss, Cus D'Amato and Ali were talking on the phone, and a typical Cus started igniting Ali's ego as to how he let that bum of a boxer beat him. Right before he hung up the phone, he told him that he had a young fighter which he was training that would one day become heavyweight champion of the world. That's when Tyson came in and told Ali that he would beat Larry Holmes when he would get big for him. And so, here we are, January the 22nd, 1988. Tyson versus Holmes is here. At the opening bell, Holmes appeared startled by Tyson's speed as the young champion bore in and unleashed wicked shots to the body, forcing the former champion to continually backpedal and clinch. Tyson gave Larry no time to set himself, no chance to find his rhythm.
Another crushing blow to the body of Larry Holmes. Closing seconds of the first round. As the bell, ending round.
The pattern continued in the second, Tyson pressing, landing to the body, Holmes retreating and clinching.
In the old days, Larry would have had that left jab just punching. Larry got a sneaky right hand through there, but it didn't hurt Mike. Fortunately for Larry in his career, he's never been hurt. And I hope he doesn't get hurt.
In the third, Holmes started timing the young upstart a bit better and landed a sharp right hand and a few uppercuts on the inside. But Tyson remained the more effective fighter, his two-fisted assault forcing Larry to clinch again and again.
I actually hate to see him fighting Mike Tyson. I understand why, though. This is a business. He ties him up inside so Mike can't punish the body. There's a digging body shot. And there's the bell ending the round. The right hand gets through and a light...
In the fourth, Holmes gave the nostalgic in the crowd a bit of what they had hoped to see. Up on his toes for the first time, he circled the ring with seeming authority, snapping Holmes several quick jabs. But Tyson never stopped throwing big punches with bad intentions, and finally one got through and did major damage.
Keep this up for a few rounds. Back to the... Oh, left hook got Larry that time. Is the biggest problem. Oh, right hand. Down goes Larry Holmes. For one of the few times in his career.
Tyson came back again for the last destructive blow.
Look in the eyes. Larry gets nailed with the left hand, the right hand. Digs to the body, goes to throw right hand, just flips with a big right hand. He won't get up from this one. It's all over.
He was on the road to become the greatest heavyweight to ever grace the earth. He had beaten every major champion in his era, and he was without doubt the man you would fear the most to fight. Until Buster Douglas came in the way. Douglas seemed to be just another opponent in Tyson's long list of fights. He was expected to fall like all the others before him. Standing nearly 6'4", Douglas had the quick feet of a basketball player, which he had been, and a smooth jab that allowed him to control the action against almost anyone.
It's the what can go wrong will go wrong. It's it's like the witch's heck. It's a possibility. It's always a possibility. Human beings are meant to fail. They're meant to fail. It's guaranteed.
So Tyson, who was already a heavyweight champion, thought that this would be another walk in the park. Wrong. Tyson had fired Rooney from his corner and had people around him that didn't want him for anything else besides his money. He was out there partying, drinking, smoking. In the end, he was still a champion without training that hard. The day before the fight, Tyson was partying really hard. He was in a room with his friend and 24 women partying all night.
So they said Bobby said that he was with you in Japan, and y'all had girls dancing. He was with you dancing on tour.
Dancing with the girl.
No, he said y'all had girls dancing. He said, Mike Tyson and I were in Japan. We basically stayed up all night partying with 12 Japanese girls, and
Bobby's a good multiplier.
he said it was just me, Mike. I kept telling Mike, you need to go to sleep and get some
lying.
sleep.
Stop lying, Bob.
He said you need to get some sleep
right.
for the fight tomorrow.
But he can have all the girls, right? I get some sleep so he can have them all. Huh?
Right, he said.
Fight night was here. Tyson came across the ring at the opening bell and gave a jab as the two fighters clinched. Hardly anything happened in the first 30 seconds. Douglas threw a good right and a left and was looking too good for a 42-1 underdog.
Lunging left hook me up to the closing seconds of this, the first one. Wow! With the right hand is Buster Douglas. And that's why Don King has brought this show on the road. Look at Buster landing some shots here. Now he has him back Mike up. Mike standing straight in front of him. Look at this, Buster landing some shots. This is surprising here. Pretty surprising. Of course, Mike at any time when you come in, said Larry Residillo, he's the judge. We're actually talking about Octavio Miran. Oh, an uppercut got through that time by Buster. Look at this, Buster landing some shots here.
In round 3, Tyson came roaring out again, pinning Douglas into a neutral corner before Douglas tied him up. Douglas started throwing rights to the head and got hooks in return. His jabs were flying like missiles, and the clinches were too often.
More aggressive, but again, he grabs on and holds like Tyson. Oh, there's the left hook that got through. That's the first real telling blow by Mike Tyson. And now let's see if Buster can hang on and keep him off. Instead, hits Buster that big left hook, and then he goes headhunting with the right hand. Can he keep that left going? Oh, no, see, there's a right hand that gets through. Sprays the chin of Buster Douglas.
Round 5. Tyson came right out after Douglas. Douglas landed a pretty good right hand to the head and a couple of jabs, but Tyson would not back off. Tyson got in a jab, then the two tied each other up.
He's winning the 5th round and that. Tallest guys that I can recall in fighting. You see that punishing body in the fight plan and drag it into the later rounds? But Buster not showing any signs of wearing down in his career. Oh, nice jab by Tyson that time. All of that sort of stuff, but of course one big shot from Mike Tyson can end all that speculation. More often than not, he's landed. Oh, look at this shot inside by Mike that time. Doesn't seem to hurt Buster. He's in great shape, of the fight to this point. Nice shot inside.
And now, the 8th and most tricky round. Douglas opened the round with a good, solid jab. Tyson threw a left and might have hit Douglas with a forearm. Buster Douglas was beginning to punch less. There was no action in the first 2 minutes of the round until Tyson threw a right uppercut that put Douglas on his back.
Mike again with the left. Wild with the right hand is Buster. Buster trying to finish this thing, and you get an idea Mike is trying to finish it. Look at these shots landed by Buster Douglas. And if Buster was out of gas in the early going of this round, he's got it back together in the late portion here. Raising left for that all night. Oh, that's a nice uppercut that time. That drops Buster Douglas. The count's up to 2 and 3 and 4. His eyes from where I'm sitting look fairly clear. It's up to 7 and 8. And here it is at 9. Is he going to get up? Yes, he does. All right.
Now, many believe that Douglas had a much bigger count by the referee and that he should have been out. The final round. Tyson's left eye was almost closed. Douglas threw 5 straight jabs and followed with a right uppercut that hurt Tyson and again with a right-left-right combination that knocked Tyson on his back. Tyson got to his knees at the count of 5 and picked up his mouthpiece, but was still wobbly. Tyson reached his feet as he was counted out.
He's not gonna make it! Unbelievable! 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 Buster Douglas
The king had fallen. The aftermath was pretty bad for Tyson. He was constantly fighting with his massive ego. He thought he was invincible, that he could beat anyone without even training.
Yeah.
How was the energy in there?
Oh, everybody thought he was going to kill him easy.
I mean, we were planning the after party. I flew in the party,
Wow.
you know?
Me too. They did that with me too.
For the win.
Oh, nigga, fuck. Nigga, I'm
This dude's about to be a champ
nigga,
again.
I'm chilling. I'm fucking amazed and shit. I'm gonna knock this nigga out. I've knocked everybody. I knocked niggas out to knock them out. What's the problem with this nigga, right? So, as we know, that didn't happen, right? And now you have to deal with that with yourself.
Douglas, on the other hand, had been putting his everything in the gym. A little before the fight, his mother had passed away, and he had promised her that he would become heavyweight champion. This was an oath he could not break.
And then it starts with the, accusations. Well, they might not let you be the champion. You might have to relinquish the belt and fight again for the belt. It's like, well, you might have won the fight, but you're not going to enjoy being champion.
Tyson continued his fights with success until he was sent to jail. As for Douglas, he was met with one of Tyson's biggest yet-to-come opponents, Evander Holyfield. He lost to Holyfield, and the fight between Holyfield and Tyson would now be Mike's second chance to prove that he had never left.
That even helped the intensity even more.
He told me that she would want him to go on. He was very close to his mom. Before she had passed, she come to his house, and she was real worried about him fighting Mike Tyson because she had heard what an animal he was. And he goes, no, I'm okay, I'm gonna beat him. She had went and told one of her girlfriends, oh, Buster's gonna beat Mike Tyson, So that really gave him confidence too.
She was having her battles, but yet she was still looking out for her baby. I mean, that's love,
This is Boxing Matrix. Thank you for watching.